taking your time for doing this interview with me.
Yeah, thank you.
Of course. So the first question I ask anyone I interview, because I always like to start off on a good footing, is how's it going?
Well, it's great. It's been great. It's already evening here in Germany, of course. So my day is like almost done, you could say. So I'm feeling quite calm now, and yeah, just letting things flow. And I'm very fine. Tomorrow we will be rehearsing for important show that's coming up. But yeah, I'm excited for that. So yeah, here we are.
Well, that's awesome. So I know the release is only a few days away. How do you feel about the album about to be coming out?
Yeah, excited, of course, because we all know the songs already, but most or anybody else doesn't. So we're quite excited about the reactions, of course, and I hope many people get back to us, like bouncing around there. Maybe something to criticize, maybe something to emphasize on. Yeah, well, pretty excited about it.
Is there any nervousness in there, or is the excitement kind of trumpet that?
Yeah, there's a whole underlying nervousness all the time regarding a new release, of course, but it's not really a negative way of nervous. It's more like a refreshing excitedness.
Hmm. So out of all the things that you're excited for, what's kind of like the most excited thing just to kind of hear the feedback or like playing a show or
Yeah, I think a bit of both. It's yeah, of course, as I said, the feedback is very important to us, but also we're excited to be playing shows again, like in a more of uh, a higher frequency,
Mhm.
because we played a couple of shows, but this has already been 3 months ago, and it doesn't really feel like, you know, we wanted to feel mm, like we are musicians ready to rock, ready to play and engage with the crowd, of course. And yeah, I really hope it kicks things off a bit. Yeah,
Well, that's awesome. It sounds like live playing is where it's at, what you're most excited for too. Because like you said, as a
yeah,
musician, you want to keep playing. So you feel like, well, we're doing
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. We're definitely not studio musicians whatsoever. We need the feedback. It's more of a I'll be honest, it's more of a chore to record an album. Of course, there's the aspect of writing it, but actually recording it is it's a lot of I wouldn't say headache, but a lot of repetition and too much of technical side. It doesn't really take into account the state you want to reach playing all together like in a live environment and the flow you get. Yeah.
Yeah. And since you have a new album, are you going to be performing some of the new songs when you're playing live as well?
Yeah. But as you might know, we only released like two singles for it. We'll be definitely playing one of them. Um, um, we decided for the next concert. It's kind of a big one, a couple of thousand people we attending. But we have a relatively short time window, so we need to put everything in there. But it
Mhm.
still means one of the new released songs. It's going to be the title track, "All Is Dust." It works really great for us,
Mhm.
and I hope the crowd will like it too, and will know it too already.
That's true. The instant feedback is really cool because you don't have to wait.
Yeah, yeah.
So how do you feel about playing a new song live?
Very excited because it works so well for us and in the rehearsal room already. It's really adding something. Of course, we like the old stuff also, but this one really brings something new also for us, and it's very exciting, and we hope everybody enjoys it too. So yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I have to ask, the album art is very unique. What was the inspiration behind that?
Mm. Yeah, we basically the artist Janis Narcos, he has been a fan of us. We didn't know, but we got in
Hmm.
touch with him. We said we wanted a more artistic approach on things, if that makes sense, because he's a very well-versed artist, and we like his style very much. We all agree on he's a professional, really, really a great illustrator. And he
Hmm.
said, okay, just give me the title and let me do my thing. Don't tell me anything else about it. Just give me the title, and I already have some ideas because it's you guys asking. And he came back to us with basically what's behind you. Is the cover of the or the basic the centerpiece, which is yeah. Is it Neaera? Uh, isn't it? We don't know. We just were blown away by it. It has many aspects of it. Of course, after the album title "All Is Dust," you might think of something else, but really, he captured decay, death. I don't know, in a more abstract way, but still very artistically pleasing. And yeah, we're very happy about everything about this whole design he accomplished.
Yeah, I mean it's very intriguing because when you look at it, it's like you always see something new that you might not have seen the first or second or third
Yeah,
time. So it definitely is an
yeah,
eye catcher.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think he had basic or most of the artwork already. I don't know. He had it finished because he went back to us such a short time span. But anyways, he said, "This is exactly what comes to my mind. This is exactly the piece I feel is perfect for you guys." In that
Hmm.
regard, I don't disagree with that. It really hits the the tone. Um, we wanted to achieve this time. It's very much different from the last one. Uh, mm, yeah, we're so happy about it.
Well, that's awesome. I love it. So I think you guys did a really good job.
Thank you.
So what was the inspiration for the title All Is Dust?
Yeah, I'm honest. It's a bit mm, let's put it. It's a bit simple, of course. But it's also very uh, um very direct. So it's basically the idea. All is dust. Has had been around a couple of years, but I think when I remember correctly, our bassist came up with it. Um, I believe back then we still weren't sure how to name the band. I think
Hmm.
it stems from the early times of forming and starting and writing stuff, and we were bouncing around ideas about band names. I think he came up with All Is Dust because it's just I don't know, it fits the music. And
Hmm.
I believe for this one we weren't sure about a title. We already had most of the songs, or at least half of them written. Then Toby, guitarist, came up with you remember what Benjamin said once, "All is dust," and it's resonated so well, and it fit the overall the fit our mood and things. Yeah, we felt playing it, and before the inspiration that musically was we had musically was it overall fits.
Yeah, love it. I know you said it's simple, but sometimes the most simple
Yeah,
things are like the most profound.
yeah,
So
yeah.
So which was the first song that was written for the album?
Actually, the opener, the first song you hear on the album is the first song we've written. It's actually not the first song we've written. Um, I need to be a bit more precise because there was the idea of releasing a single.
Mhm.
Because as you know, the whole process started during the pandemic, or a bit later into the pandemic. It started. We were thinking about things that we wanted to keep going or start anew. So we thought about the idea making like a single and then maybe a EP or something short, which many bands had in mind. But we scratched that, of course. But the single, the first song we've written is on the second half. It's called Render Fear Powerless. It's pretty
Mhm.
much a like a self yeah, I'm not the lyrics guy, so it's a self-centered song about yeah, some bringing back positive aspects to negative environments. And yeah, this was the first song we've written. It's actually it went a bit in the second half, as I said, because it was later on we figured out we wanted to uh, make make the whole music a bit more differently.
Mhm.
So, but this is kind of uh, um, uh, an in-between song, as you might say, because it kind of combines the stuff we liked back then, and
Mhm.
also yeah, the first thing that came to mind, but it wasn't the music we really wanted to write anymore on this album. So we changed the focus a bit. We wrote a couple songs more, which we also um, scratched because
Mhm.
we weren't really into them anymore. We thought about let's let's give it a new approach. Let's see what happens, but just put the tempo a bit down and not so much metalcore, but rather a bit more heavy, maybe, but a bit more like I don't know, old school, whatever you want to call it. It's
Mhm.
and then we scratched some of the songs, and the first one we've written is the opener. It's called Antidote to Face. And yeah, this is the first thing you will hear on the album. It's a plain and brutal song, I think, and yeah, we're happy about it. And everything from there is just yeah,
So it kind of sounds like you changed your sound a little bit for this album versus what you used to play.
yeah, a little bit. Of course, you got things in mind like we will change it radically because you feel like it, but in the end,
Mhm.
we're still the same lineup and we did things like we did them back then. So of course the music wouldn't change so drastically. In the end, it's metalcore, death metal, whatever you like to call it. I don't care. But still, we wanted to write songs the way we used to, and we're happy about it. And if it sounds a bit more differently, I would agree. But if you say, yeah, they sound exactly like they used to, then it's
Mhm.
also okay. It's a bit of both.
Well, that's awesome. Is there anything that surprised you about the album?
Mm, no, not really. I think it's you might call it evolution or natural process. Having them written this way, I don't think they differ too much from the older material. But yeah, as I said, we at least try to see music through different perspectives and
Mhm.
yeah, but there's no surprising aspect. Maybe for the audience, it will be surprising to hear that we have a cover version on this album. It's the one song that kind of sticks out very much, I think.
Mhm.
It's called In Vain. It's by a German metal or punk metalcore band of early 2000s, maybe even 90s. They were called Veil, and yeah, this is a cover song of them. So um, and I think you will notice a different kind of tone in this special track. Yeah.
And did you guys get together to kind of like decide which cover song you were going to do, or did it kind of just happen on accident or was planned?
No, we all know the song from back then, the days we were like getting into heavier music and bouncing around and exchanging like discs and I don't know, not vinyl at that stage, but still CDs and
Mhm.
stuff we that was available back then. And there's or has always been a huge German metalcore like indie smaller stuff. And yeah, we all knew that song. It was maybe not the first choice anyone would suggest, but we kind of bounced around ideas and found it was yeah, quite intriguing to think, okay, we might do it, um, maybe give it a bit more of a metal sound because they are quite, I'd say, punky. But yeah, yeah, we'll see if that worked out.
Because nowadays we'll never experience the joys of trading CDs because now it's all digital, I feel like, or the old school. I love CDs myself, but so for this album, I know you mentioned that it's kind of like you kind of went to your roots and started writing the way that you guys like to write before, but is there anything different that fans will see on the album?
Mm, yeah, especially or except from the one song that kind of sticks out, I already mentioned. No, I think they will recognize us pretty much. In the end, uh, we didn't take too much of a break in between. Like I said, or the last album we released was the self-titled one we released right into the pandemic, so not
Hmm.
much of anything going on from there with that one. And of course, we were not sure if we wanted to go back writing stuff after this huge bummer of not being able to play any of the new material, or back then new material live. So we really needed a break. I already said it took us really a while, and some songs not making it into the finals. uh, so yeah,
Well, that's awesome. It sounds like you guys have definitely been busy.
yeah. We also had kind of a side project which nobody really knows about, but of course I'd love to mention it. It was or is a bit more black metal, not too hectic, of course, but it's a collaboration with the singer of Heaven Shall Burn, Marcus, and it is called Our Loss is Total.
Hmm.
You might want to check it out. We did this one just 1 year into the pandemic. Like we were not really taking a break, but focusing on Neaera stuff took us a bit more time. And yeah,
Well, awesome. So I want to ask what's next for the band. I know you mentioned like some live shows. Do you guys have anything
yeah.
lined up or anything in mind after?
Yeah, I'd really love to just give you a full list of things to come ahead, but I'm very sorry. There's no such thing as a tour planned or anything at this time. It's simply focusing on the next shows. They are some huge festivals, but mostly or mainly here in Germany, I'm afraid. But that's the way things go when you're in your 40s and not really into this whole touring stuff anymore. You loved
Mhm.
in your 20s. So that's for other bands to do. But we're totally fine with it. And yeah, we're focusing on the next shows. They are going to be big, or for us, big. And yeah, and we'll see how things go from there.
Yeah, for sure. So I have to ask, what hobby is your go-to to recharge after you finish an album?
after finishing an album. This sounds like finishing an album is such a routine, but I mean, it's the eighth one, so you might say it's a routine. But I think taking a break from everything regarding music, just don't, or in my case, don't play drums, because I'm really fed up by that point of time. And there's different instruments I can pick up. Uh, I like them all in the true sense of the word, but yeah. And after a while, you get back to it, and you feel, the energy is coming back towards this thing, and yeah. Also, I think everybody agrees on that. I think most musicians agree on that.
Yeah. So do you play any other instruments for like a hobby?
Yeah, I play violin, cello. I don't know, mandolin, um, some of the acoustic instruments, not really electric stuff because got a lot of cables on my drum kit already. So yeah, I love acoustic music. Yeah,
Well, that's awesome. Maybe you can put it in a next album or something. Hey.
I don't know, maybe.
So is there a theme that we'll see on the album?
Like a theme
Yeah,
in what regard?
like a type of theme, like a story,
Lyrically?
not like a message that we'll see in the album, or is it just
No, you mean like it's like a concept. No, not really. It's our main Stefan, the guitarist, he writes all the lyrics. He's taking the approach of focusing more on self and personal things, like in an, of course, like an abstract or metaphorical kind of way, which I love very much because it fits the tone of the album. It's also something Benny, the singer, can really relate to. We all had our personal troubles in the last couple of years, and it fits the all overall energy on the album. And there's also some different themes, but yeah, mostly it's dealing with the self and progression and maybe regression, whatever. So yeah.
awesome? So do you have any predictions for a fan favorite?
Yeah, there's different fans, of course. Um, and there's also different, uh, you might say, colors, um, um, or musical colors during the album. So not every song sounds the same, of course, but there's more thrashy approaches. Like I'm, I think old school fans will love the song "Edifier," which is yet to be released. And Render Feel Powerless, as I said, it's rather fast,
Hmm.
but also I don't know. I think the two singles really release Pacify and All Is Dust, they also differ from another, so it kind of gives you an idea of what's to come on the new album.
I love that. So depending on what kind of fan you are, there might be a different favorite for you.
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
So how do you keep the music fresh?
Mm, yeah. Thank you. But yeah, you need to, as I said, you need a break in between. You just can't throw out albums and all this time. And there's been a lot of headache and talk. Like we weren't constantly writing and agreeing on things. So there has to be compromise and maybe somebody spoke a little louder and or didn't really agree on stuff, but that's the way things go and the way we're used to, because we are, as I said, we are still the same guys, still the same lineup. It's a big and important factor for us all to we all agree on that. If there's things we disagree, and that's okay, but everybody agrees. It has to be the same lineup. We're the same guys. Just we're old now, really old.
I think you're fine. Um, so
Yes,
when you
indeed.
guys do have a difference of opinion, how do you guys resolve that now? Because you guys have been together for a little while. Do you have like a kind of like a system, rock, paper, scissors, some?
Ah, yeah, that's a good yeah. No, we just accept each other, I think, and we agree. If we disagree, we can agree on disagreeing. In the end, everybody knows to move further, we have to resolve it, and yeah.
Well, that's awesome. It's like I guess in a band, you kind of are like a family because you're stuck together, playing and recording. So you have to find a way to make it work. Free relationship advice here.
Yeah.
So I have one last question for you. Is there anything you'd like to, like a message you'd like to give to previous fans, new fans, anyone interested in listening to the album?
I I hope you enjoy it. I really hope if you don't enjoy it, at least leave some criticism. Why not? And all I can say is thank you for your support. It's been 20 years already for us, and that includes the fans, of course. And yeah, that's my message. And I hope and I'm confident we'll see each other in the future.
Well, I want to thank you for taking your time for interviewing with me. And for anyone else who's interested, the album does come out on the 28th, and it is All Is Dust from Metal Blade Records. And you should definitely grab a copy. I listened to it the other day, and it's fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you again, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening or night.
Thank you, and bye bye.